Hey Geeks! So, today, we're playing catch up.
Yes. Catch up?
Because of
Cats up?
because of the fact that I was sick, we kind of missed being able to do... Shut up. Missed being able to do our reviews on Agent Carter, episode 4 and 5. So, we're playing catch up.
Yes.
Hopefully get this out before episode 6 airs. So,
that's the dream.
Yeah. So, first half of the video, we're going to talk about our thoughts on episode 4, which was the Blitzkrieg button, and then second half will be about episode 5, the Iron Ceiling. So, episode 4.
Episode 4. I liked it.
Still, I thought it was still pretty full of action. The kind of action we've come to expect from the series.
Yeah, there's some pretty good action. There was I think 4 has the like you said, the WTF moment, right?
Yeah, I called it a WTF moment when I first watched it because it was something that to me was unexpected.
I didn't see it, honestly.
Yeah.
In the House of Womans.
Yeah, because oh yes, spoilers, because we're totally just going to discuss everything that happened in the thing. So if you have not watched episode 4 or 5, stop watching this video, go watch it on watchabc.com or whatever streaming service you use.
You actually are able to watch it like on time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Go do that and then come back.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, with that said, spoilers!
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, no, the character of Dottie, I thought she was seriously just some kind of eccentric background character.
Yeah.
Had no idea that she had some wicked moves.
That she been doing some wild jump ninja shit.
Right? Like, seriously.
Like,
so, in the episode, we get a guy named Mink, who is... We thought he was supposed to be the baddie. Yeah, that was the
blonde dude?
The blonde dude.
Okay, with the kick-ass pistol?
Yeah, and...
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the episode starts with Agent Carter whomping some ass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's starting out this way.
I think they're in like a subway, I think, or something like that.
Like it is, well, kind of.
Or a train station, some underground train, maybe.
Something like that. Whatever they had back in the 40s, you know, because I don't think they had the subway like we know today.
I looked for the go-go dancers. I didn't see any.
And, so...
And shotgun shells.
Right? For real. But she hella just beat the shit out of a couple people. And it turns out Howard Stark has snuck back to New York via this train. He got smuggled back in. The smugglers attempted to do a shakedown. They got their asses beat by Agent Carter.
It was like 5 or 6 dudes, man. It was crazy.
Seriously. Trying to save face because you just got it beat in by a girl.
Yeah, they got whooped it.
And then, of course, these henchmen go to report back to their boss, Mink, and he's displeased and shoots them with this really badass old-school pistol that is actually an automatic, and it looks like legitimately like a pistol version of a Gatling gun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like a small
That is freaking awesome.
It was freaking cool.
So we did actually get to see kind of some old-timey technology.
Yeah.
That actually, to me, it kind of made me feel like it was kind of steampunk-esque.
Yeah. The original Gatling gun was actually a crank system. Mm-hmm. And it was actually invented well before that, cowboy era.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so it kind of makes sense that somebody would attempt to develop some sort of handheld option.
Yeah.
Easier to handle and carry. Yeah, so he's like snooping around, trying to, tailing Carter throughout the entire episode.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be on the slick.
Awesome. And he ends up sneaking into the Griffith, where of course she stays, and of course the rule is, no men above the bottom floor. And Dottie ends up coming out of her room, and she lives next door to Peggy, and then he's like, "Go back into your room," and she goes and points the gun at her.
Remember, this hotel is a chamber of V and not of D.
Mm-hmm. No D allowed.
Yep, just V's.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
I snuck up that window.
Yeah, and then you'd get a gun pointed at you and be like, next door to the...
I made my rounds.
Like Howard?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Because he was hiding out.
That's
in
one
her
of the
room.
things I did like about this episode. For me as a guy, you know, Howard going, knock, knock.
Hey, ladies!
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to actually see his womanizing side, like
Yeah.
for real, like just
Yeah.
woo. It's like, damn, how many
Just
girls
like
is, damn.
father like son.
Right? So, anyway, he's been hiding out in her room. But anyway, Minx going around, and Dottie comes out of her room, and he, like, points that nifty gun at her, and he's like, get back in your room. And she goes, and she just, like, really kind of creepily
Like,
tops
stared
her
at
head
him.
to the side, and he goes, is that an automatic?
I want it.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, she's doing some Spider-Man shit, and then fucking cracks
Dude
his
got
neck.
neck broken.
And he just drops, and it's like, what the fuck?
He didn't get no V. He got DED. Did.
Yep, that he did. That he did, sir. So yeah, no, that was like, when I was watching it, I was just like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I was pretty
like,
shocked.
it happened,
I was like,
and I think it was mostly
what the
because it
hell?
happened so fast.
Yeah, I was like, boom, boom, dead. I'm like,
It's like there was
Holy
no
shit.
there was no foreplay involved with this action
Oh, no.
sequence. It just bam,
she
done.
went for the money shot.
Money shotted that to shit, man.
Oh, yeah,
Woo.
it was good.
One of the other exciting things, and this is something I want to discuss with you a little bit before we move on to the next episode. So, a big part of the episode was the fact that Peggy had to go into her work and steal back a piece of Howard's technology.
Yes.
And supposedly
Called
it
the
was
switch or something.
the
like that.
Blitzkrieg button,
Blitzkrieg button, yeah. Okay.
which is the name of the episode.
Yeah.
And it's like this ball, and it had a switch, and he was warning her, don't flip the switch. It'll shut off all the power in New
The
York.
entire grid.
And they won't be able to get it back up for like decades, because it's just that powerful. And I didn't want the military to use it or it to fall in the wrong hands, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she's on her way there, and, Jarvis is driving her as usual. And she's asking him about it because Howard was kind of skirting around the issue and being kind of shady.
Jarvis.
And Jarvis, unfortunately, can't lie for shit and has a tell.
What?
What's going on, Chris? No?
I don't like titties at all. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Me neither.
No.
I'm going celibate.
Yeah.
And Peggy, being Peggy, picked
Catches
up on that.
Yeah.
And she goes and she jacks it. And then, with a little bit of nervousness, flips the switch. It opens up, and inside there's a vial of red stuff. So she comes back
I think it could be Kool-Aid.
to have a chat. Not the ink. Could be pen ink. Experimental pen ink, maybe.
Maybe. Could be.
No, it's really not. But she comes back to have a little chat with Mr. Howard there, and
Not Stern.
no,
Stark.
Stark,
Big difference.
and
Not Curly.
asks him about it. Like what's in the vial, and he's like, what are you talking about? Trying to hide it.
Like what vial?
Trying to hide it.
$1 million. Yeah.
And then he finally comes out and says it's Steve Rogers, aka Captain America's blood.
That after, not the skinny Cap, the like super yoked Cap blood.
And that apparently
That one.
there had been 12 total vials. 11 went to like the military or whatever.
Trying to recreate.
Yeah, and then 1 went to him. And he tells her some BS that, I kept it to create, health stuff. And he goes, we could cure diseases.
And yada yada yada.
The
I'ma
whole
save the world.
blah blah blah. He goes, do can you imagine like how many people we could save? How many people will do this, do that? And Peggy, who of course is in love with Cap, or at least the idea of Cap,
Yeah.
just hauls off and just fucking sucks him right in the fucking face, like knocks his ass over, gives him an instant black eye,
Yeah.
and just was like, how dare you?
How dare you?
And I want to know, in your opinion,
Okay.
A, do you believe Howard for what he said he was keeping?
Oh,
it
his
for?
reasoning to save the. Yes, I think he does want to have some of that because and I still, just like Peggy said, his motivations are all based on the dollar. So yes, he would use them for those, all these medical breakthroughs and all this stuff, but it's all things that he could market to make money.
So doing the right thing for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's full of shit.
Oh, really? See, I believe him. But I think he's about the dollar bill for him.
I think the fact
contracts.
I think the fact that he was like, granted, he says it was to protect her, but I think the fact that he was willing to lie to her about about what it really was.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe
we'll find out.
He did it so cleanly.
Yeah.
And expected to get away with it.
Yeah, he didn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
No.
Didn't even bat an eye. And it's like, this is a person that you have asked to clear your name.
Yeah.
You might not want to lie to her.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, but yeah, action was awesome. The emotions ran high again. Nice surprise WTF moment. Got to see some tech.
Yeah. And Peggy was pretty hurt.
Oh yeah. I mean, she wouldn't even talk. She didn't even want to talk to Jarvis because Jarvis even knew.
She
obviously
felt betrayed because not just Cap, but the idea of what Cap stood for.
Exactly.
So. And
then, of course, we ended the episode with Chief Dooley in the office, and the typewriter starts typing.
Yep.
That transmitter. So they of course didn't show us what it was typing. Yeah. But we find out in the next episode. So we go to episode 5, the Iron Ceiling. Mm-hmm. To me, the pacing was a little slower in this one because it was a different kind of action.
It was. It
wasn't I'm gonna beat the crap out of you, karate chop to the face.
Careful, calculated steps. That's what I would call it.
Yeah.
I liked this episode. There wasn't really any I don't know, oh shit moments for me, but there was a little bit of humanizing for One Tree.
Yeah, they definitely humanized him quite a bit. I was actually kind of surprised how much that actually affected me. I still think he's a douchebag because in the end he's still a bully. Yeah. Because bullies bully other people because they hurt and they want it makes them feel better too.
Because I believe in the beginning of this episode 5, he says I think he does tell Peggy that as hard as you try and as hard as you even though you're right, you will never be an equal in the world of men.
I think that was in the last episode.
Was it? Okay.
It was one of those 2 episodes.
I don't know. I watched them back to back, so I kind of blended it a little bit.
Yeah. So. But I mean, the point still remains. He does not have that high of an opinion going into the episode.
Yeah, and then episode 5 leads into they're trying to decode what was typed out, and they got Poindexter in there, and he's trying to break the code, and he can't do it. And then Peggy comes in, oh, look, I got an English accent, and you're goddamn stupid. Here you go. Here's the whole thing. And I'm like...
Yeah, she just whips that shit out like it was nothing.
Bust it out
like it was one of those cryptogram books.
Yeah,
oh, I do this for fun.
I was waiting for... dude to bust, the guy that was trying to decode it, bring out some Ovaltine and is decodering, I can figure this out.
It's my, fucking, what the hell was that show?
Christmas Story?
No. The, Kyle Silver.
God, what was that?
Or frick, what was the name of the show? I don't know. At this point, it would probably be a Captain America decoder ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the time era, yeah.
Definitely. Oh yeah, something like that. But so she just whips it out, and then she's like, "No, you need me." And then the chief tells One Tree, "Hey, take this person, and go to Russia." And she goes, and for once, Carter actually stands up for herself, and it's like, "No, and me."
Yeah.
And me.
I'm sure that was big for you. Like I was proud of Peggy, but
I was waiting for something because it's like she's taking all these hits.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can tell she's strong because I mean she's taking all these hits. She's bounced back. She's still going strong. Still, kicking ass.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, Peggy, it's time. It's time.
Time to rise.
Stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And she gets in this big arguing match about why she should go, and One Tree's like, no, I don't want to have to be responsible for you, and she's like, you won't be. And then the chief's like, he goes, look at it from my perspective. If you go out there and you die, I'll be responsible for a woman dying in combat.
Yeah.
Whereas one of these other guys, if they go, it's another, big deal. And then they're arguing about the Howling Commandos because they're the only ones who know the area as well as anybody. And she's like, what if I can deliver them to you?
Yeah, because she worked tightly with them, so she was able to pull some puppet strings.
Oh, yeah, and he's like, well, then I'd say you're going. And she goes, all right. She walks out of the office, and him and One Tree are arguing, and he literally tells One Tree.
No, they're setting up the plan.
Yeah, and
he's like, this is how we're going to do it.
He literally tells One Tree, I don't have time for your crush on her. Just kind of like, ooh! Like, quit getting a hard-on for her, dude. Which kind of almost makes me think, what if he does kind of have,
I don't know, I
a
really
weird thing for her?
Picked up on that vibe? Like, I
kind of
with...
I hate you, but I would totally do you kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of gotten that feeling with the I never remember his name. The crippled guy.
Sousa,
yeah. I never remember that.
Just think of Tequila.
Oh, yeah, Sousa's kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, within 2 minutes, she walks back in the office. They'll meet us at this drop point. That's where we're going, right? And the chief's just kind of like, you win.
All right, you go.
Throwing my hands up.
You got it. Yeah.
Because,
And, go for it.
So some interesting things after that point. Then that's just the opening part.
Yeah, this is like...
interesting things that happen after that.
They sneak in to this area.
Well, before that.
Oh, so...
First clue for Sousa.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so they're changing, and Peggy's changing in the men's locker room because there is no women's locker room. And One Tree...
The 40s.
Yeah, and One Tree kind of fucks with Sousa. And pretty much sends him onto the side of the lockers where...
That was awesome.
Where
I would have
Peggy
done
is.
that.
Oh, yeah, totally. I probably would have done the same thing. Because you can kind of tell Sousa's got a thing for Peggy.
Yeah.
And he sees her, and she, turns around real quick, like, what you doing?
You can't see my bubbies.
Well, here's the thing.
So...
Quit touching yourself.
Oh, I got so excited.
Some children do watch this show.
Probably demented ones.
Yeah. Probably. Anyway, he ends up seeing 2 bullet hole scars in her shoulder.
Yep.
Which kind of tips him off, because the pictures...
That he's been examining.
That he's been examining for, every fucking episode since it happened.
Yeah, he'd been on that, man.
I mean, I'm surprised... I'll be surprised if he wasn't, fat into those goddamn things as much as he stares at them. Jesus.
I'm surprised they're not sticky yet.
Right? Just kind of... Sorry, guys, I gotta air these out a little. He notices the same markings on the woman in the picture's shoulders, so you can tell Sousa is on her trail now. He knows that she was there. My question, before we get into the Howling Commandos part, do you think... Because by the end of the episode, he hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
And he's still examining the pictures as if he's trying to be sure. And he even compared it to her medical file.
Yeah.
And do you think that he's going to confront her or go to Chief Dooley?
I think because he gets so much flack from the rest of the guys in the office, because he's disabled, I think he'll go to her first.
Yeah. I hope he does.
Yeah.
Because I would hate to see him go to Chief Dooley and that cut into her being able to do her side missions.
Yeah.
To find the truth. Plus, I think it would be good if she had an ally in the office.
Yeah.
That would secretly, hey, we're doing this, leak me some information, or hey, I gotta go do this, can you cover for me?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
She needs that. Well, she's been doing fine without it so far, but...
See, I think a wicked twist would be if Sousa ended up being the asshole in the end and One Tree didn't.
Wow.
That would be fucked up. But
Talk
I could see
about-
them doing that. Right? That would be fucked up, but I don't think that is not in the realm of possibility. I think
Yeah.
that is totally in the realm.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, fast forward, they're in Russia, meet up with the Howling Commandos. Quite a
In
couple
Mother
of,
Russia.
Yep, and a couple of them were actually in the movie.
Yep.
They were in Cap. They have some new people, but they're not completely new because they, if I remember correctly, I believe they were from the actual comics. The other members, and they used the nicknames, the goofy nicknames. It was excellent to actually get to see her in a group setting where she had more of a leadership role, more of a respected role, and the fact that now One Tree has gotten to see these other hardcore guys
follow her lead,
give her the respect that they wouldn't give to another woman because of the shit she's done.
Her prowess in tactics and guns is pretty uncanny.
Right? I have to say, watching her in that last exit strategy scene, when they're getting ready to leave the compound, she's waiting for, what's his nut, to come back with an exit.
What's his nut?
And One Tree is frozen.
Yeah.
Like, he's just frozen in fear. And you see her just
only
systematically, just boom, 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 boom. The look on her face.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I feel like she really has seen war.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because she's just systematically just, boom, picking them off, you know?
Yeah.
Timing her shots.
Yeah.
Like someone in the actual military would do.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I meant by it was a different kind of action.
Yeah.
So, I was actually really impressed by that.
I liked that scene. That scene was cool, and you know, granted that I enlisted and I never did see combat or get to leave based on my genetic disorder, but that systematic eliminating, like, that's cold hard stuff. Like, and guys freeze up. Like, One Tree's like just.
That reaction is just as real.
Oh God! Yeah.
As the look, as her face when she's systematically just popping him off.
And that's why.
You know, and she's not like panicking like some people might.
Yeah.
Just no, she's
pink.
She's like bursting.
Yeah.
You know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
One Tree Hill, One Tree Hill.
And that's good because she's there to, you know, she's got his back even though he's.
And she's yelling at him the entire time.
Come on,
you gotta get up.
Gotta
get up. And she's not leaving without him, which is also a huge military thing. And I know that you appreciate that as well.
Oh God, yeah.
And me coming from a military heavy family.
I would never leave a man. I don't care. If I died trying to get him back, whatever.
Yeah, and that's the entire code.
Yeah.
Then, of course, I'll backtrack to shortly before this. When they're in this compound, they discover it's a boarding school. But it's not just any boarding school, folks.
Oh, yes.
It is the place where they trained the Black Widows. Which, of course, we know Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson. Hey, honey.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like, and then you got, like, they pan back, and, like, you got, like, freaking Broomhilda, like, running this camp, dude.
Right.
Like, I'm like...
Yeah. And, you end up finding out, or figuring out, that Dottie is a Black Widow. So, that makes the last episode's, you know, scene make
sense.
A whole lot more sense.
Yes. But you know, there's something interesting in that, like, and I don't know if you really picked up on it, is that when she's going through this training as a kid, when she has the snuck bread and then hands it to her teammate, so even though she's trained to be a killer, I think there's a part of her that has humanity in it. So I'm curious.
Well, look at
what they'll do with that.
Avengers Black Widow.
Yeah.
You know, she got tired of all that.
Yeah.
You know, look at her. She turned over a new leaf.
I'm just wondering if
it's going to be Dottie's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
She did do some creeper shit that I'll get into real fast. And then we'll jump back to Russia. She actually went to breakfast with...
Yeah, what? Okay. No, that's all right. I thought you were talking about the part. Go ahead.
She actually went to breakfast with Peggy and ended up jacking her keys to her room.
You're just leading to it.
Yeah. And she sneaks into her room, and of course Peggy is smart and leaves like a little piece of string on her lock to know if somebody broke in.
Someone's coming in, yeah.
But of course, Daddy's familiar with this trick.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the biz, I'm sure you probably know that trick.
Yeah.
And she just completely, just thoroughly searches the place.
And she's smart. She doesn't ransack it.
No, she puts everything neatly
back
where it goes.
So there was no suspicion whatsoever that a room has been gone through.
And she ends up finding
some
pictures of the Stark stuff that Peggy took with, I believe, the camera pen.
Yeah.
So she knows that stuff's in the SSR office. You don't understand why she took a specific thing. It's a specific thing they're after.
I don't understand why she took the picture.
I don't know. I didn't even get a good look at the picture.
She took the one with the crate. Not of any of the ones that was a close-up of the item. She took the one with the crate picture on it. Like, of all the pictures, why would you take that one? Like,
we'll probably find out on Tuesday.
I don't understand, yeah.
Then she did this creeper thing that still kind of gives me the willies. I mean, granted, anyone who knows the Black Widow story is that they are trained to take on the persona of someone else. Take on someone else's life.
Assimilate.
And she actually...
Look, I'm different.
She's walking past, like, the vanity, and she sees a picture of Steve Rogers. Rogers. My brain just kind of went... she sees a picture of Steve Rogers, and it's skinny Steve Rogers, like before, Cap.
His military picture's like mine.
Right.
That's how I looked.
And she picks it up, and she's like looking at it, and then she like looking at other stuff, and she sees some lipstick, and she's like sniffing the lipstick, and then
she
like,
picks up instantly that it's a sleep
thing. And then she sits down, and then she like mimics, and it's creepy how close she got to Haley Atwell's actual voice.
Yeah.
And which makes me almost wonder if she actually just did that, or if they actually voice-overed, you know?
Well, maybe.
But she goes, she's like, "Hello, I'm Peggy Carter," like in the thing.
Yeah.
While she's still holding his picture, and I'm just like, ew, roadie, creeper. And then she ends up leaving, and she puts the little string back on the door, so no one would know.
Yep.
But it's still like some creepy shit. So it's like, oh god, I wonder what she's gonna do. Well, it turns out Howling Commandos and Peggy and One Tree and the other two red shirts, that's what they are.
Yeah.
You'd learn their name for one episode.
Yeah.
And it's generic. They're going through this school, and they discover a little girl. And the lead dude of the Howling Commandos, wearing his bowler hat, she like points to the hat, and he's like, "Oh, it's called a bowler hat." And he goes, "Peggy, why do they call it a bowler hat?" And the girl stabs his ass, and he's like, "Fuck," and then one of the other guys, something happens. She ends up grabbing a gun, shooting one of the young guys, who's actually the first one to die in the comics of the Howling Commandos.
Yeah.
And so girl gets away. They're like chasing her, and then as they're running to get out, because they're now being chased by what is suspected to be Leviathan troops.
Yeah.
They end up finding the scientist dude and his shrink.
One of them tries to like blackmail his way out.
The scientist dude, and he ends up getting shot by the psychiatrist, who's like, "No, fuck that! You're gonna get us all killed."
Yeah.
And that's when One Tree freezes up or whatever. But other small little interesting tidbits that are leading up to the last 3 episodes that we have.
I wish this show had been before Winter Soldier.
Right?
It would have been
before you actually see Peggy old and shit.
Yeah.
You see Dooley out at a bar with a dude who I don't remember who he is, like exactly. I don't think they actually say.
I don't think they say his name.
I think they say his name, but I don't think they say who he is.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on it though.
He's asking him about why Stark showed up at the massacre, and he says, well, I can only tell you certain things that happened after he was there. Turns out, punched this big general dude who happened to just, about like a month before this, die of a heart attack. Ends up punching him, and then ends up getting a huge government contract. So now Dooley's kind of thinking, well, okay, there's something more to this. Maybe Howard Stark isn't as guilty as I thought. So that's good.
Yeah.
Sousa is now avoiding Peggy.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to figure the shit out.
I think he knows he's trying to figure out a way to approach it.
One Tree, we come to find out the reason he's such a bully is because he got the Navy Cross.
Yeah, Navy Cross.
For killing 6 Japanese soldiers who he thought were going to kill his CO. Turns out, in a confession on the way back to the States, to Peggy, they were coming to surrender. He didn't know until after he had shot them, and he buried the white flag, and it's been haunting him since he returned to the States.
Yep.
That's why he's such an asshole. I don't think it excuses his behavior.
No.
But it does humanize him a lot more.
Yeah.
I still think he's an ass.
He's got skill, yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily want him to die now.
I never wanted him to die. Maybe just get ruffled up a little bit.
I would like to see how much further he gets taken down a peg.
Yeah. Zing. Zinger.
But anyway, a lot of stuff happened in this episode. It was a lot slower of a pace, different kind of action, but I still appreciated the slight break. It was definitely an episode that felt, to me, like it was setting up for
some
episode
big
6.
shit,
Yeah. For the 3 finale.
Yeah, no, I think it was a really good episode. Excuse me. I really did, and like I said, I liked the pace. It was definitely different from 4.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I feel like all the other episodes up until 5 were pretty quick. Quick with the action, quick with the wit, quick with the emotion.
Yeah.
And this one definitely slowed down a little bit. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'll have to see what the pacing's like in the next episode.
Yeah, 6.
So this has gone on a lot longer than we planned, but that's because we had to double up. So make sure you go see Marvel's Agent Carter, ABC Tuesday night,
It's
9 o'clock, 8 Central. And we'll see you back here sometime this next week.
Down below, we will leave you a nice shiny link to abc.go, right? Or something like that.
WatchABC.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you can watch it there.
And that's about it, guys.
Yeah.
So make sure you watch Agent Carter on Tuesday. So we're all caught up now. As always, like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Yep.
All of our usual links will be down below. I think that's about it. What do you think, Reddit?
I think so.
All right.
I think so.
Later, geeks.
Peace out. Bye, geeks.